This is a song. I want to preface this. I'd just like to tell you something about how I was raised, because it'll just make everything will make more sense. My father read to me, and he read to me every night. I read to him a lot, and he read right until I was 14 years old. He read to me, and I just got to tell you that at Christmas time, I had a question for him. I just asked him, I said, Dad, you remember that time I was about, 10 years old or something? You came into my bedroom. I was homesick from school. You came in and you read me this story about these clowns that come to this town and start killing people. And nobody can see them except this one boy, like right about my age, this one 10-year-old kid or whatever. He can see them, and then they realize that he can see them. And I'm telling this, I'm saying, you came into my bedroom, remember the story? At the end of the story, the clowns are all outside this kid's house, and he's looking out the window, and there's a clown under the street lamp, and there's a clown like in his yard, and they're surrounding the place, and he runs into his parents' bedroom, and he for safety, and he goes in and he pulls back the cover of his parents' beds, and there's two clowns lying in his parents' bed. And in the story, like, this is the kind of thing you remember, right? You hear this when you're 10 years old. He grabs a pair of scissors and he starts like, oh, nice. Stabs his parents. Well, I don't know if, was it his parents? Was it killer clowns? I don't know. Stabs him in the throat. Anyway, I said this to my dad. I want to know where this story came from. It's like part of my psyche, And he just said, oh, no, I certainly would never have read you anything like that. I have absolutely no memory of that whatsoever. I'm like, Dad, are you kidding me? You came and you pulled up a chair in the middle of you clipped it out of a magazine. You read me the story. It terrified me for years afterwards. Anyway, if anyone ever, if you know, please tell me. Anyway, my dad, that just gives you a little clue as to where I'm coming from. It wasn't all the creaking tree. It was like there was a little background. We all have a little background. Anyway, he also read me the Grimm's fairy tales, which I'm sure many of us here were exposed to when we were kids. There was one in particular that really stood out for me. It was called The Singing Bone. And in this story, someone just say, yeah, oh, cool, okay, you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy what they can fit in like a page and a half in a Grimm's fairy tale. Like a page and a half. All the good things in life. In this story, there was a king who sends his two children out into the woods, brother and a sister, and he asks them to see who can bring back the most beautiful bouquet of flowers to prove their love to him, sort of King Lear style. And so these two, brother and sister, go off into the woods, and they meet up later, and the sister has got all these beautiful flowers, and the boy doesn't have any. So in the Grimm's fairy tale logic of things, he kills her, takes her flowers away, buries her in the woods, goes home with the flowers, says she got lost. I got these for you, Dad. Anyway, that's how it went down. So, and then it's years later in the story, in the Grimm's version, there's different versions in different cultures of the same story, but there's a shepherd picking in the dirt with a stick and upturns this bone, and he thinks it would make a perfect wind instrument. So he hollows it out. And as soon as he starts to play on it, it tells the story of the murder and what happened. And anyway, it's a great story. Night, night. That's right. It's like, there's your story. There's your story. Anyway, Northern Ontario, Northern Ontario in the wintertime. People disappear out there all the time, and I was thinking about this story and thinking about the North and thinking about this beautiful music that Sean came up with, and we got a song.